Then I saw a smoky green mist shooting up from the bottle. The thick mist rose up like a geyser, chilly and wet. I felt it float against my face. Ugh! I groaned when its sour smell reached my nose. I staggered back, choking. I started to gag. I thrashed both hands wildly, trying to brush the mist away. Yuck! Kara cried, making a sick face. She pressed her fingers over her nose. It stinks! A sickening fog swept around us. In seconds, the mist billowed all over the room. I can't breathe, I gasped. I couldn't see either. The fog blocked the light from our flashlights. Ugh! Kara groaned. It smells so bad! My eyes burned. I could taste the sour fog on my tongue. I felt sick. My stomach gurgled. My throat tightened. I've got to plug up the butthole, I decided. If I close the butthole, this disgusting mist will stop spurting up.
You can't scare me, not with the basement of botany. Maybe a sentient downy, calling all creep.
Boo Dudes, welcome to the penultimate episode of Calling All Creeps. I'm your host, Tim Allen from The Santa Claus. I'm here, of course, with Mel Gibson and Fat Man. Hey, there's another Christmas movie.
Two pieces of shit.
Two incredibly problematic dumb assholes.
Did you hear that Tim Allen and his right-wing dad asshole show is going to meet up with Tim the Two-Man Taylor?
No. Oh, the Last Man Standing?
Yeah.
They're going to cross over to that property?
Yeah.
That's dumb. You can't do that. It's not how realities work.
Yeah, you can't take something when we didn't know you were a piece of shit and mix it into now when you're a piece of shit. Well, he's always been a piece of shit.
Tim Allen?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sucks ass. Yeah, I'm looking at the Tim Allen filmography here because I was gonna introduce you as Tim Allen from another movie, and I should have because now I see I could have gone with Wild Hogs.
Wild Hogs. That's where I was going. I was like, he's going to say I'm Wild Hogs,
which is pretty good. That was a missed opportunity. There's a Santa Claus 2.
I guess so. I hope it starts with him getting murdered.
Yeah, he murders a bunch of people and then he gets a plea deal for giving up his friends.
Well, the plot of the Santa Claus is Tim Allen spooks Santa and he dies, and it's like whoever murders Santa must become Santa.
Yeah, correct.
It's Highlander. Wait a second.
Yes, tell me.
Fuck this. We said something that we were gonna... It's Hanukkah. Remember, we were like war on Christmas, war on holidays, and when it's Hanukkah, we were going to unabashedly say, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah,
Happy
Matt.
Hanukkah. Well, we are... Hey, Happy Hanukkah, Dave. We are saying fuck Christmas, much like Melania Trump.
Yeah.
Do you hear that?
Why are
that
we always pieces of shit? We're like, hey, yeah, I can see I'm here with my good friend... Fidel Castro and hanging out here with Benito Mussolini.
Yeah. Hey everybody, I'm Stalin. I'm here with Mussolini. We're just committing war crimes. Hey, I'm Henry Kissinger. I'm here with George H.W. Bush. No, Jr. He's worse.
While we're pieces of shit,
yes.
We're discussing this book. Let's, because this is a piece of shit and this doesn't count, so I can say something and we could completely safe space this.
Safe space. Just keep in mind, no editing today, Dave.
No, of course, no, we're done with that. 2020 needs to be
2020,
edited.
yeah, right.
An unedited year, an unedited podcast.
Correct. That's how we're going to go out. No editing.
Okay, so this is the thing. It's problematic. It's bad, but I want to... Is this book...
Yes.
About period cunnilingus.
I don't know. Do you have strong evidence to support this claim?
Just the title.
I think it could be. Look, we don't know what this old man is up to in
Arl
1880.
Stein, I imagine he's probably just like, ugh, I have vampire breath.
Jane gave me vampire breath again. Minnie gave me vampire breath
Okay,
again.
well, good. Now I went really far, and you took it farther. So we're both.
Hell yeah.
We both have war crimes now.
You can always count on us for war crimes. I just want to let you know too that Tim Allen's a Gemini.
Ugh, just like us.
His alternate name is Timothy Dick.
Fitting.
I don't know. Shrug. Yeah. And his height is 5 feet 10.5 inches. What a piece of shit. When you throw halves into your height, just fuck off.
I didn't know
right?
you could stack shit that high.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so let's blow this fucking book out of the water. It's Vampire Breath. It's book 49, and it came out in November of 1996.
You know what's kind of a shame is we'll never get to book 69. Nice.
That's so
I'll edit that
sad,
out.
but so nice. Don't edit it out.
It's like not worth it at all.
Top song, No Diggity by Blackstreet, featuring
Oh.
Dr. Dre, a jam.
Cool. Jam.
The top movie was Ransom, a Ron Howard movie with Mel Gibson and Rene Russo.
See how tuned in I am,
Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
locked in.
But so many 90s staple movies came out then.
Yeah.
There was the Baz Luhrmann, Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, sure.
So Leo DiCap
Yeah.
in there. Star Trek First Contact. That was a big deal for fucking
Yeah.
nerds. I'm not a Star Trek person, but I remember actually seeing that for like a friend's birthday or some shit. I was like, oh, that's cool.
No, yeah. That is what the first time I masturbated, I called it First Contact.
And the first time I
remember that.
masturbated, I called it the other movie that came out that month, Space
Yes.
Jam.
Oh man, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's a crazy movie that has Bill Murray in it, and it makes everybody want to fuck a rabbit.
Yeah. I mean, not the first time, right? The fucking Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Was that the one with the sexy bunny in it?
Well, no, she was a lady in that. That was Jessica Rabbit, his wife.
Jessica Rabbit.
But she was like a sexy lady. But this was
Oh,
just
yeah.
like Bugs Bunny and
Right.
Lola Bunny. I think her name was Lola
Right.
Bunny. And they
Lola,
just like
yeah.
made her so hot.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
weird because like and people are like, why are you saying that? It's a cartoon. And I'm like, no, watch that movie. They're trying hard. I'm not wrong. They are.
Yeah. No, they gave her big old, you know what, Dave? Some jugs, some fucking cans.
And like her ass and shit is always like.
Yeah, her tail is always erect.
I remember when I worked at a retail repair area of retail large technology
Large fruit company.
area.
Yeah.
And we had finished fixing somebody's phone. I went to bring it out to somebody, and their screen was broken. And brought it back, and the background on their phone was Bugs Bunny, fucking Lola Bunny in the back door, and they were both naked.
That was the wallpaper.
The wallpaper on their phone, and people were like, "What
Jesus
the
Christ.
fuck?" And I was like, "I need to see this guy." So I brought it out. It was just this like dude, and I was like, "Hey man, is this your phone?" Like
Yeah.
pointing the thing at him. He's like, "Oh yeah, cool, thanks." I was like,
Well,
"What?"
I guess if you're making it your background, you're pretty unabashed about it, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. People would also have like just naked photos of their girlfriend as their wallpaper.
Oh, yeah.
As your
yeah.
and you like give it to strangers to be like, "Yeah, here, take this."
Dude, yeah. I mean, at this same large phone fixer company, I also worked. And you could go to a little table and you can get your little future broken device set up. And I mean, a lot of naked people in their photos as they would load, and they'd go up.
I like to load.
And I'd say, hey, that's all right. And yeah. And a lot of like rotund, middle-aged white men coming in with iPads that just have porn playing on the screen, and they say, "I don't know how to get out of this." Just like really earnest.
Tablets. They were on tablets.
Sorry.
They're gonna take our podcast down.
Parody. And yeah, and they'd just be like, "I don't know how to get out of this." Like, fucking 3 guys railing this poor girl
on my Google Pixel.
Yeah.
On my Sony smart device.
Can you get this off the screen for me? And I mean, man, what an adventure. People just don't give a shit.
We could have a full podcast just about the shit we've seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This doesn't have to do with it, but I mean, our intro is very short. It's not even a half hour, so technically we're still in the intro.
Yeah, we could still ramble about my asshole for a while.
I bought a video game. And this is the first time that I bought a video game for this reason, but it's kind of close. Mm-hmm. So you and I are huge fans of Create a Wrestler.
Oh, man. Absolutely.
There are times where Matt and I have gone to a GameStop and been like, what is the oldest wrestling video game you guys have here? And we would buy it, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's SmackDown versus my butt 2016." We're like, "We'll take it." Then we go and get 2 6-packs of beer and a pound of Sour Patch Kids, and not even kidding, like the pillowcase sized one.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And we would sit and make wrestlers. One time, I had to get up when I saw Matt because we would like face the other way while the other person made their wrestler, and he was like, "I'm done." And I believe this was, I forget his first name, but I remember his last name was Pudman.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it, I don't want to edit it, but was it just Jay Pudman?
It was Jay Pudman.
Yeah.
And I laughed so hard that I had to run to the bathroom to pee. And that's a new experience for me. So I got a game because I heard about one option in the Create a Character. I got Cyberpunk 2099.
2099.
Cyberpunk, it's called.
Oh, is it the? Yeah.
The one with like Keanu Reeves, and it was supposed to come out like 8 years ago, and I was like, I don't really care about this. Whatever, it's a future game. But then I learned that you can customize your genitals.
What the fuck?
And I was like, $60, thank you.
I'd pay
even
$100.
now they're saying like it's very glitchy and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever. So I made my character. They say that there's a dick glitch in the game where like if you fuck it up, like you can see your dick through your pants. So I was very excited to name my character Richard Glitch. But you can't name your character. And so I made my character. You can pick whether you pick the model of a feminine or masculine, you can pick, and then you can pick their voice, feminine or masculine. Then you can pick to have a vagina,
heard of it.
a dick,
okay, never heard of it,
or nothing at all.
Hey, the ideal
spot.
scenario.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I was like, you know what? There's no customization options if you pick nothing, and there's no customization options really if you pick your just a vagina. You can't pick if you got a meaty one or whatever. So I was like, I gotta go with the dick. But you can't pick your pubes.
Wait, so when you
can design your pubes.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So does it like in the way of when we created wrestlers? Does it like zoom in on the genitals and then like when you make it longer, it gets longer?
Yeah.
Wow.
But there's no like sliders. It's not a great create a character. Like it's not that much, but it is the best because it's gone. Because normally wrestling games, all they do is just like, how big could you make girl boob go? Like,
yeah.
And it's like, come on, man. I was like, if there's a slider to make like a girl's waist extra skinny and a butt bigger, which I'm like, you got to do it for the dudes too. Because like when we make a character, we want them to have like a rock and donk. But,
yeah, we don't even choose. We don't go like female characters. We do all like big dumb dudes.
Yeah, it's funnier that way because basically it's like you can only make Lola bunnies because that's what they expect, and we're like, we're not here for that.
I'm not here to like jack off with a controller in one hand. I want to make like a dumb idiot. Yeah.
So I made him have a. You can pick. So here's the customizations. So I picked Wiener. And you can circumcised or uncircumcised.
Now, this is, you see the wiener. It's like he's naked.
Yeah.
Incredible.
You see his wiener. The butt, the thing is, like, they go so deep into wieners, but the butts that are terrible. They're terrible butts. And I learned that, like, you can pick, like, I was like, maybe I should have picked a different body, and I could have had a better butt, and then I could, but anyway.
Yeah.
So I decided, then you can pick the size. Of course, I picked small. So
For the dick, yeah.
yeah, so I have a small circumcised dick. I picked circumcised so that because it looked even smaller than the uncircumcised one. But then I realized it was a problem because I was at the comic shop yesterday and they were like, "Why'd you pick a small dick?" And I'm like, "Well, it's a shooting game." And I figured if I have a small dick, it'll be harder to shoot.
Correct. Yeah, if you have a big old dong, you're going to trip over it and fall into some gunfire.
And if somebody shoots at me, like imagine if you have a big dick and you get it shot. I'd rather have a small unshot dick than a big shot dick. But then I realized I fucked up because if I picked an uncircumcised dick, I'd probably run faster because it's aerodynamic.
That's true. It comes to like a point at the end, so it cuts right through the wind.
But you never know because sometimes the foreskin might collect wind and it would be like, you know how
that's true.
When they have to stop hot rods, they like throw out the parachute.
Right, yeah.
So
yeah, so there's a lot to think about.
I did circumcised tiny wiener with a like sunburst bright blue pubes.
Oh man, beautiful.
And when you're like armoring up your character and like picking their clothes, you can just take their pants off and just look at their dick. So next time I play, I'll take a picture of his dick and I'll send it to you.
Oh, beautiful.
I also made him look like he's like a mixture between like, and he basically looks like a robot-ish super post-apocalyptic like bassist of an AFI cover band.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
He's got the hair. I gave him a weak chin. He's got like Lemmy's facial hair, and
sure,
I made him so Hot Topic. It's funny.
Yeah. Does he have like Funko Pops in his pocket?
He is a Funko Pop.
He's wearing like a Nightmare Before Christmas hoodie.
He's not. It's crazy. He's wearing like leopard sweatpants right now. I'm trying to dress him up real funny, but
yeah.
The game is all right, I guess. I was kind of like, and then I saw like a robot, and I carried a girl who had like her boobs out, and I was like,
okay,
video games are weird.
This game sounds insane.
It's insane. I just can't wait till I can show Keanu Reeves my small wiener.
Almost at a genuine spit take right there.
Yeah,
I mean that's my life goal. That's my Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, so I mean, if you let me make a wiener on my guy, then you gotta, there's, Chekhov's wiener.
Yeah. It's gonna show up in the third act.
It's gonna pay off somehow. Even if like a character is just kind of like, you're like peeing next to someone and they're like, oh, that's a small wiener. Like,
yeah. Dave, this is No Nut 2020. You can't say pay off.
Yeah, and it's funny because there's like a lot of urinals and stuff. I was in the bathroom, and first thing, you're in a bar, and I'm like, oh, I gotta find this bathroom. I bet I could pee out this small wiener. And I couldn't, so... But there was like another guy peeing in a toilet, and I like opened the stall, and he's still peeing, because I heard somebody peeing, and he was like, hey.
This is in the game?
Yeah.
This is unreal.
But it's so glitchy. It took 8 years for this game to come out, and like, it crashes on a lot of people. But like, I think... Not to brag, but I'm playing on a PS5, so like it's pretty, ugliest fucking thing in the world. It's so fucking ugly. And every now and then, like you'll see like a character is probably supposed to be holding like their phone because it's like the future and everyone has their iPhone and stuff, but it's like floating like 3 feet to the right of them. Like
how
like,
futuristic,
very glitchy and sucks, but
yeah.
So anyway, Space Jam,
cool, love it.
On November 3rd. The Los Angeles Lakers superstar Kobe Bryant became the youngest player to make his NBA debut at 18 years old.
R.I.P. He recently turned off.
Yeah. Fucked up, but sad. And I learned, at first I thought he was a very problematic dude, and I learned it was the opposite. I felt bad, but a lot of positive stuff for his kids and, a lot of generations. So that's sad, but I mean, it's crazy that, it's long career. Incredible dude.
I mean, he's next to Michael Jordan, is there a more successful, talented basketball player like that's in like the zeitgeist?
Shaq owns
LeBron,
a lot of
maybe?
Papa John's.
Yeah, Shaq is like a fun dude who's like, a household name, but in terms of his talent, like he wasn't as good a player as like somebody like Jordan or Kobe, I don't think.
Yeah, but Kobe doesn't have any movies where he's a genie.
That's true. That's a good point. And Kobe wasn't in Hubie Halloween. So.
He was not in Hubie Halloween. So, R.I.P. On November 4th, the British girl group Spice Girls released their debut album, Spice. And it went on to sell 23 million. Stop. Producer Chib loved the Spice Girls. And we got to say a very happy birthday to Producer Chib.
Happy birthday, Producer Chib, my beautiful, lovely current wife, Lauren. No relation, Ryan.
You married your sister.
Yeah.
On November 5th, Bill Clinton is reelected president by defeating Bob Dole.
Love his fruit cups.
Good fruit cups, bad man. November 5th, the Yankee shortstop Derek Jeter is unanimously voted as the choice for the Rookie of the Year.
Cool. I love Derek Jeter as a kid. That sounds like
Same.
like a name for a little dick, right? My Jeter. Taking out my little Jeter.
It also sounds like a small windbreaker.
That got me.
Derek Jeter had a little home in Wayne that was built for him. I don't think he actually used it really, but he had it there as an extra place. It's at the corner of I don't know, dox everyone, but it's right there on off
People
Alps
know
Road.
places exist. Yeah.
Alps Road and oh my god, I forgot the French
Jeter
Hill maybe.
Lane.
Yeah, but it was up top in this mountain, and that's where I learned that he would sleep with a lot of women because he was a superstar sports athlete, and he actually had gift baskets to send them home with.
That's very polite.
It seems super douchey to me.
Yeah, I mean that's a sociopath.
It's a sociopath thing, but it's also if it's a consensual nice thing where someone's
sure.
I think about it and I'm what if Taylor Swift loved me and wanted to cuddle one night, and then at the end was Dave, I got you all these gifts because it was such a nice night of cuddling, thank you. I would be you're so sweet. But if I learned that then you got to cuddle with Taylor Swift and you got the same gifts.
Yeah, well, they're parting gifts. I mean, I'm sure, right?
They're parting gifts,
yeah.
I would be you can keep these. When are we cuddling again? And she'd be
yeah.
Take the iPod Nano and leave. And I'd be I tried. Yeah. I'm short. I can't be the best big spoon for you. I'm sorry.
It's sad, yeah. And then word gets around, and you think you're the one, and you sleep with Jeter, and you go downstairs, and you see the gift basket, and you're oh fuck.
Yeah, and it says your name on it, and I'm Matt. And you're well, mine says Dave. I'm oh fuck. He planned this out. He knew he was going to fuck us.
He knew. And you know what? It's fine. I'm better for having fucked him.
Yeah, with his little dick.
His little Jeter.
You know how I know he's got a little Jeter? Because he's the shortstop. That's some baseball humor for you right there.
That's right.
On November 9th, Evander Holyfield upsets Mike Tyson in the 11th round, knocking him out in Las Vegas to regain the heavyweight boxing title.
Cool,
second boxer after Muhammad Ali to win a heavyweight title. Earlier than that, Mike Tyson famously bit the man's ears.
That's right.
Just came back and did a fight.
As Snickers says, you're not you when you're hungry, Dave.
He eat ears. And on November 14th, famous piece of shit who I'm still surprised is, people don't care about how fucking monstrous he was. King of Pop Michael Jackson at 38 weds Debbie Rowe in Sydney, Australia.
Okay.
Famously, and it's he had a rough childhood. I'm all right, then don't ruin other kids' childhoods. Don't be a monster.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's we do forgive that.
Yeah.
And which is baffling. Also, he's dead, so it's there's nobody to keep accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a bad fucking people are just fucking monsters. Life sucks.
He also fucked over the Beatles, which people don't care about, but They got the
Oh
money
yeah,
back.
he like got their songwriting catalog or something.
He bought their whole catalog out from under them.
Right. Why?
Because I think he became friends with like Paul McCartney, and they were talking about like ways to invest your money and things like that. And he was like, listen, music and catalogs and stuff, you have to make sure you get your rights and stuff. Ours are coming up and we're like really, we got to get it back. And he was like, oh, cool. But because he was so rich at that point, and the Beatles, being the Beatles, is crazy that they didn't have a lot of money because they didn't own their rights to their songs. He swooped in and bought all of their music. So when like all those, remember when they did like the Beatles Volume 1 and stuff, all that money going to Michael Jackson so he could just do drugs and be a piece of shit and have a monkey. Yeah,
maybe don't, take a bunch of fucking propofol, you dumb idiot.
Dumb idiot.
Goodbye.
I like your jacket, though.
Yeah.
It's a
a
cool
good
jacket.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you lost your glove. This book has a bunch of reprints, which is rare later down the road. So it got one of those 2005 reprints. It's got this one that I have with the new cover. It's kind of neat. Mm-hmm. It's like a vampire vomiting. And it got that border variant. We know how that goes. TV episode aired the exact same month, just like last time. So this had a TV episode companion, November of 1996. Prior to this book's release, the Goosebumps fan club's newsletter reported that the protagonist would be named Eddie. Some cool, interesting stuff. Some quick little thing that you could only learn from being in the fan club. But funny enough, not the name of the character.
No. I was just checking. I was like, wait, was it? Am I insane? No, it's Freddie.
It's Freddie.
Freddie and Kara.
So that's funny. Jacobus, man behind the art, said that Count Nightwing's face on the cover of this book was based on the face of his reference, a photographer, his friend named Michael. Got it.
Yeah, it does not look like the character described, but it's very good. This is a cool
It's a good cover.
This is the orig cover right here. I'm showing Dave. It's good. It's cool.
It's spooky.
Yeah.
Spooky.
He looks also, I'm sorry to interrupt. He has like a hole on his face, which is fucking cool. But also he looks like he's in the Misfits. Right? Look at his eye makeup.
Sure does, yeah. Maybe his devil lock is just stuck up in the...
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, you can't see it.
It could be like Jerry Only, where his hairline starts at the back of his head, but somehow still reaches his nose.
I mean, he's going to get it done.
He will. Kim Henderson, who plays Kara in the episode, is a main character in the movie Jumper, was the lead in a children's show. She was Shirley Holmes in The Adventure of Shirley Holmes, and more importantly, Matt, played Shania Twain in the movie Shania, A Life in 8 Albums.
Oh my God. Let's go, girls. Okay, so you're Brad Pitt.
Okay, so you got a massive hog.
Okay, so you're showing me your little Jeter. That don't impress me much.
Did you think... I love we got the noise that you're just slurping down that cold brew.
Oh, man.
Making me jealous.
This is my last sip in here. I'm sad it's gone. You know, cold brew with some oat milk. Love a fucking oat milk. It just makes coffee so much better.
Hey, you have to edit that out.
Oops, I oat milked.
No, that's scrote. I'm not going to put it with the other word. Oh, you said it, but it doesn't. But we're not.
You didn't hear it.
That's not it. That's not it.
There's no way I'm going to the middle of this episode.
That's not an official. That's not an official one, so it doesn't matter.
No.
It's not in Webster, so it doesn't count. Like Jay is in Webster's. So the intro is very erotic.
The intro to the book?
Yeah, there's an audiobook of this you can listen to on Spotify.
Okay.
I started doing that while I was working on a gift for my girlfriend. So I was like, maybe I'll start the book by listening to it. Sure. Then I realized it's tough to take notes when you're listening.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's basically just our protagonist, Eddie, just whispering into a 7-year-old boy's ear about like how like werewolves will like come up to you and like rub your shoulders and like lick your ear. And then Kara's just like, stop. Oh, yeah. He's 7. He's just like,
right.
I got up close so he could feel the breath on the back of his neck. And I was like, werewolves will get ya. And she's like, he is 7. And he's like, then I like held his tiny wrists in my hands and said, werewolves will get you. And Kara's like, he's 7.
Yeah. I bear hugged him and I said, I could squeeze the life out of you now if I wanted to. I have the power.
Werewolves
There is a point.
Transform except for their pants because they don't want you to see their werewolf dicks because it looks like a dog dick.
That's a good point. And then Kara punches him in the stomach, which is nice.
That's like her main move.
Yeah.
She's like punches him in the stomach a bunch.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, I'll get him. And he like tries to tickle the kid to death. Which is weird. Like, it's super strange to me that, like, he's, like, whispering and, like, breathing on the little kid's neck. And she's like, hey, can you stop? And he's like, all right, I'll just tackle him with tickles. That's fine.
a bit inappropriate. Yeah, I mean, so are we diving into the plot now? Do we want to just go through it?
I want you to just rip this plot open. Go for it.
Cool, because I think it's pretty simple. I feel like I do this every time, but because I do. It's really so I'm going to give an overview and then we can get nuanced if we want to. Stuff I forgot, whatever, Dave. And that is basically that there's 2 folks, right? There's Freddie and Kara. They're friends, and Freddie and Kara find a little door. It's in Freddie's house, right?
Yeah. A trope, too. Just going to throw out a R.L. Stine trope. There's a bunch in this. They are best friends, and everyone thinks they're brother and sister because they look alike.
Yes, right. And, of course, they're Goosebumps age, which is 12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they find a little door. Now, I love a good little door story, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Indian in the cupboard, problematic. Fucking Coraline. Yeah. Great. I love a tunnel that expands before you.
I love how they find it, too.
Oh, yeah. They, like, knock something over, right?
Because they have, like a fucking John Wick fight because they're playing air hockey.
It's like fucking John Wick 2, like Common versus Keanu Reeves. They're fighting in the streets of Italy.
It's even a point where they take the puck off the air hockey table and, like, wing it at the other guy.
Yeah,
she like body slams him through a china cabinet and it falls over and they find a door. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then all the plates and everything in there is broken.
Yeah, and they don't give a shit because they found a little tunnel.
They found a haunted door, and what do? You go through it, and they go through the tunnel. It opens into like a little room, and in the room there's a coffin. And they're like, who would put a coffin in a small room? They like don't they don't know like what a tomb is or like a mausoleum or, you know. What do you call the little houses in cemeteries that have bodies in them? Mausoleum?
I think it's a mausoleum, yeah.
Yeah. But they're blown away by this. And
a death hut.
Yeah, right. A mummy case. And so I mean, it is weird. It's part of the house or whatever. And anyway, there's like a little bottle that they find. Because it kind of gets right into it, right? Like they find the door, they go through it. Yeah.
The thing that blows my mind is that these 12-year-olds will find a coffin.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, well, who knows what's in it? Maybe it's like, we should open it. And there's one of the best lines in this where like, they literally are just like, hey, we are kids. We should not open this coffin. It's like, we are 12. Because, like, if there's a coffin hidden in a dark, dingy room, I'd say there's like a 98% chance that there's a dead body in it.
I would argue that's what a coffin's for.
Yeah. And these kids are like, well, we should open this. Yeah. And, like, as kids, if I found anything that was like, there's a dead body in here, this is like Telegraph being like, maybe we should open. Like, you don't do that.
No.
But they do.
Yeah, why would you? But yeah, they do.
And it's the best possible scenario. Because there's no body.
Correct. It's just a nice little plush coffin with a little bottle in there of vampire breath. It's labeled vampire breath. It's got a little cork on it. And they like fuck around with it, and it opens, and a bunch of like stinky farts come out of it.
Like a giant fart cloud comes out, and they choke to death.
Yeah, it's like if the Big Show like ate some bad tacos and just filled a room. And that's what happens. It swirls around, it fills the room, and it stinks. And they're like, "Oh, it smells like eggs." And they managed to cork it again. But when the smoke clears, now there's a body in the coffin. That's fucked up.
Oosh.
And the body wakes up and starts like screaming that it's thirsty. And they determine that it's a vampire, and the vampire chases them through the little tunnel.
He's like, wearing his little vampire tuxedo, and he's got his cape. And he floats, so it's like, blah.
Yeah, right. Big old Dracula stuff in there.
And we learn his name is Count Nightwing.
Count Nightwing.
He used to be Count Robin, but then he was like, "Fuck you, Batman. I'm going out on my own. I'm Count Nightwing."
Count Nightwing. You can tell because the name sucks. So it's like a bad offshoot. So he chases them down the little tunnel. The door is closed, though, so they can't escape. Luckily, he's defanged. He needs more vampire breath to get his fangs back. And so they go back into the little room where the coffin is. And he's disarmed. The vampire's disarmed, so he's like, "I'll make a deal. Like, give me the vampire breath, so that I can get my fangs and go back." It also transports me back to my time. It's like a little time travel device. Serves many functions, which we'll get into later.
Multi-purpose.
But very multi. It's the little Swiss Army bottle of farts. And they open it, and the vampire goes back to his time and his world, which is 1880, presumably Transylvania. And here's the problem, Dave. You'll never guess what the problem is. Can I tell you?
Do the kids get transported back?
Make a guess.
Do the kids get transported back?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Correct.
First guess.
It's very intuitive.
I cheated. I read the book.
Ah, shit.
I'm a cheater. I'm sorry.
You're Derek Cheater. But they all go back to 1880. The big problem, even worse, they're transported directly into a nice, beautiful room that has like chandeliers with candles in them and whatnot. But there's like 24 coffins in the room, and then the coffins open. What's in the coffins? What's in the coffins, Dave?
Vampires and bats and vampire
Fucking
bats.
vampires. Yep, correct. And I do like the description of the vampires coming out and the way they look, because they're basically just like skeletons. But it's so funny, because now we're around page 50, and this is where the humor comes in, because it's just all these men stand there and they go, "Oh, I'm thirsty." And they sound like the Muppet Sesame Street, whatever. And they all start flapping their arms as men. They start flapping their arms, and then they transform into like large bats and fly away. And the kids think they're threatened. They think that they've been spotted and they're going to be eaten or whatever. But they don't see them. They take off in search of blood. Mm-hmm. And they also rendezvous again with Count Nightwing. And Count Nightwing's like, "What the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing here?" And he's just like, they're like, "We need to get back to our time. What are we going to do?" And he's just like, "Oh, no, I'll just just suck all your blood out, turn you into a vampire, and problem solved." Right, and they're like, "No, what about the vampire breath?" And this is a quote where he says, "What does vampire breath actually do?" They ask, and he says, "Everything," Count Nightwing shouted. "Vampire breath does everything for a vampire. It allows us to travel in time. It can make us invisible and reappear again. It keeps our skin smooth and clear. It gives us energy. It helps us sleep. It keeps our bones from drying to powder. It freshens our breath."
Yes.
It makes our
Yep.
dicks work.
It lengthens our little jeters. I also want to say, yeah, this is the point where Count Nightwing's like, well, it's a win-win. I'll drink your blood. You'll be a vampire. You'll be an eternal child of darkness. And they say, here's Freddy, and he says, I tried to imagine what it would be like living here in this castle, sleeping all day in a coffin, rising up at night and turning into a bat, flying out night after night in search of next to bite, forever. Just thinking about it made me shake with horror. Dave, I think you'll agree. It sounds fucking cool as hell.
It sounds pretty dope. I like Kara. Is it Kara or him where they were like, well, if I'm going to be a vampire, can I get a coffin near the window? I like fresh air when I sleep.
It's Kara. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Kara. And I'm like, that's the spirit.
Yeah, she vacillates between, like, she's like crying, and then she's like, hey, I want a fucking coffin near the window, right? And then immediately after that, she's like despondent again.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
I just love that Count Nightwing is just like, yeah, we can get you back to your time. It's like the idea that, like, you can build a time machine. Anyone can build a time machine. You just need a cardboard box. But and then you just have to sit in it for the time until the next time. So it's like the same thing. It's like you just have to wait it out. Yeah. Become immortal and just wait at this point, 196 years.
Yeah. Until
what am I saying? 1,196 years, excuse me.
Well, they go back to 1880, don't they?
Oh, it's 1880?
Yeah.
I thought it was 1800.
No, I think it's 1880. So they a little over 100 years. But yeah, you'd still be bones either way.
Well, no, not if you have vampire breath, because it keeps your bones from turning to dust and makes your dick work.
That's true. Yeah, freshens your breath, which I hated. Yeah, so, and this is it. Now the set piece is the castle, and you're contained in the castle for almost the entirety of the rest of the story. And Count Nightwing disappears again because he wants to find the vampire breath, so that, not to transport the kids back, so that he can get his fangs and then, be complete, first of all, and get his drink, but then also drink the kids. And,
because it also helps with your memory. It's like a ginkgo biloba. Because he has to remember.
Right.
He has to remember where he put his fangs.
Yeah.
But he can't remember where he put the vampire breath.
Yeah. It's
a catch-22 if it were. Yes,
correct. And so they part ways, and now the kids, they have two options according to them. They can be the first ones to find the vampire breath so that they can transport, or and prevent, obviously, Count Nightwing from getting his fangs, or they can just like run away.
Yeah.
And running away is Kara's plan, and the vampire breath finding is Freddy's plan. And they kind of do both. Like, they try to escape, but Count Nightwing rescues them because the castle's on a cliff, and they try to like jump out a window. They like don't see it, or
they go to a ledge and they slip.
Yeah.
And he turns into a bat and saves them.
Exactly, yeah.
But it was a smart plan.
Don't try this. Yeah.
It's a smart plan because Kara's like, let's hide in the kitchen. I'm like, why the kitchen? It's like, vampires don't eat food, so why would they go to the kitchen?
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, that's kind of smart.
It's good, yeah.
Way to go, Kara.
But yes, because they slip, they get caught, and they're back in the castle, and they try to find the vampire blood, and the vampire breath, sorry. And they come across a little girl named Constance?
Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn. I was like, it's some Puritan name.
Instantly reading this, she has pale blue eyes, and her name is Gwendolyn, and I'm like, this is a ghost. This is a ghost or a vampire. Are you kidding me? Pale blue eyes.
Monster, yeah.
It's a trope. Yeah. And if you got crinkly blue eyes, any pale blue eyes, you're a ghost or something. And she's like, I'm a prisoner here. I'm only 12, but they treat me like a slave. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, you're bad. So she's like, I can help you, and brings them to like a dark little room. And she's like, gotcha, gonna eat ya. And then Nightwing comes in, and he's just like, fuck you, little girl. And they start hissing at each other. Yeah. And they begin a monster fight, but they're like, we must escape.
Yeah.
So they run away.
Yep.
While Count Nightwing just beats the shit out of a little girl.
She's undead. She's fine. But yeah, they do. Constance.
Have you ever seen What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes, a long time ago, but yeah.
But it's the whole thing where like you are the age when you were always the age that you were when you became a vampire.
Yeah.
So they go and meet these little girls, and they're like, yeah, they became vampires when they were kids. And he's like, what you doing? It's like, just going around looking for perverts. And so they just like are kids and they look for pedophiles to pick them up, and then that's how the kids get their victims. I thought that was so funny.
It's good. It's noble.
It's very noble. I love it.
Yeah, but Gwendolyn mentions that there's a bunch of empty bottles, right? Because there is a point where the kids think they find vampire breath, or his vampire breath, but it's actually an empty bottle. There's a lot of empties in the castle because they go through this stuff like fucking water.
Yeah, but it's like my house. How like recycling for cans is every other week. So you end up like, thank God we just shout out to my older brother and his wife for getting us a one of those soda streams, because we were going through seltzer cans like there's no tomorrow.
How's the soda stream, Dave?
Let me tell you, it's a good stream.
Good stream?
It's
strong,
good.
thick stream?
It's a strong, thick stream.
Love it. Excellent.
Good. One time I put Capri Sun into a soda stream at my friend's house and it exploded. Don't put a sugary drink in the soda stream. It doesn't react well.
Yeah.
It made like a waterfall.
That's kind of fun.
Capri Sun. I just wanted to buy Capri Suns, so we ended up baking a cake with the leftover Capri Suns.
Really?
Anytime I bake and it says water, I get mad. I'm like, what? Water fucking sucks. There's so many better liquids. So
yeah, you're not the fucking boss of me. I'm going to use Capri Sun.
That one time we made sugar cookies with Jack Daniels instead of water.
That's right.
Yeah.
They weren't bad.
Yeah, don't put rain in my fucking cookies.
That's right.
So yeah, they go there and then he remembers. He's like, the empty room. This is where I hid it. Mm-hmm. And they they're like playing monkey in the middle.
Right. The kids are playing monkey with the middle with Count Nightwing. Because they
Dick
find
Grayson,
they find what they think is the full bottle, and they're throwing it, whatever. But he's like, I'm a vampire, and he just grabs it because it's easy. They're children.
He can fight.
Yeah. And actually, that bottle's empty. Whoops. But then they find the actual bottle, and I think he grabs that one too. Well,
they throw it, and he swats it out of the air, and it hits the ground and breaks.
Right,
but
right.
Just fucking open it.
Yeah.
Just fucking open it. Why do you have to throw it 8 times before you it's not like an Xbox achievement or some shit. Just open it. Yeah. You don't have to do a stunt.
Yeah.
Fuck you. So they open it and then magically they are back in the basement.
Correct.
Not even the little room. They're in our air hockey table's back.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
They're in the
Vampire blood is just
house.
A convenient plot device. That's also what it is.
Yeah. And but now Count Nightwing is back with them. They keep fucking swip swapping. That's not a thing. And they are there, and also Freddy's dad is there suddenly, and also Freddy's mom, and they're fucking. They're fucking.
On the fucking air hockey table.
That's right. Yeah. Air's on. It's blowing up Dad's asshole.
There's sweat just hovering.
Yeah. Right. And feels good, man. And they
pump so hard that she fires into the goal on the other side.
Makes those siren noises.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Count Nightwing's there, and weirdly, the parents aren't freaked out because they have this little post-fuck high going on, and
you can tell because the mom's glowing.
She's glowing. She looks good, and Dad's tucking in his shirt nervously.
Yeah, and you can just tell he's got this dapper look on his face. They both, it's just beautiful. They're still in love, even though their kid's a little shit.
Yep. But Dad had a vasectomy, so he's fine. And
they snipped his Jeter.
They untied that little Jeter cord, and but they're not surprised that Nightwing's there, and they're like, "Oh, you found Grandpa."
And he's like, Cynthia, my Cynthia.
Yeah.
And it's like, Dad, you fell asleep on the couch, so we put you in a coffin and hid you in our basement.
Yeah.
Which answered one of the questions in the beginning that I was like, they saw the tunnel and the coffin more than likely when they bought the house, and they were like, fuck it, just put a fucking IKEA over it. Just like slap a jonkva in front of it and no one will know.
When they did like the open house before they bought it, they were like, "Ooh, there's a little grandpa room in here. We could put his coffin in here."
Yeah. Incredible.
And that's what they did, and they're like, "Dad, your fangs aren't in the fart bottle; they're in the bathroom. You left them in a little Alka-Seltzer cup."
And apparently they're like, "Oh, I never used the bathroom on that side of the basement. I used the bathroom on this side of the basement." And I'm like,
"Yeah."
So this, let's get this straight. They refinished their basement or whatever to put an air hockey table in it, but this basement has a tunnel and 2 bathrooms.
I know. Well, one of them is Dad's Jack Shack. They established that pretty much right
Jack
away.
Shack, yeah.
Yeah. They open the door and there's like moans, like Billy Madison.
Billy Madison. I knew you were going there.
Yeah. So anyway, they're a family of vampires, and the parents like turn into bats and fly away. That's kind of it.
Well, that part's kind of crazy because he's like, "I'm so thirsty," and she was like, "Yeah, let's just go fucking kill people," and they just like fly away together. And he's like, "Am I a vampire?" They're like, "Yeah, but you only become like a minion of the darkness when you're like get your dick hair." And
yeah, right.
And then Kara's just kind of like, neat. Like, she's not even like,
Yeah.
A grimmer ending would have been like, cool, let's just kill your friend. Like, but they're just like, yeah, we're vampires. That's it. And he's
That's
like,
what it should have been. They like surround her or something, and then the book ends.
Yeah.
But instead,
He
they
just
like explore the bathroom.
He just shrugs, and then the Curb Your Enthusiasm song plays. Like,
Yeah.
Bam, bam, bam.
But they do explore that bathroom though, and they open the cabinet, and there's like werewolf breath in it.
Sweat.
Yeah. And it like splashes on Kara, and she starts howling. That's how the book ends.
Yeah. I just want to say, thank God it's No Nut 2020, the part of where we will not say any male excrement words, because at the end where they were just going into different things, like, oh yeah, we got everything here. We got werewolf breath, we got a werewolf sweat, we got we got fairy J, we got
Genie C.
Cool. So what good did you find?
Yeah, so here my ratio seems to indicate that this was a good book, even though I don't feel like particularly moved by it. I think it was fine, but I just have a lot of good stuff written down, and so I'll just try to blow through this, which
it was a solid book.
Yeah, on page 21, Kara, who is more often than not the voice of reason, says that we can't just go around opening coffins, which I think is pretty good.
I have that too.
So, I mean, I don't need to read it. That's what she says. On page 28, it's just that when the vampire breath does open, it's so funny. And I don't... Maybe this is what you read, Dave, so I won't go back over it again. But just the fact that they say, it stinks, it smells so bad, it's just so funny. And let's see... and I think in general, like up to page 32, we really go on a journey with this coffin. It's like, first it's closed, then it's empty, then there's a body, then it's a living body. The evolution is kind of interesting. And I always appreciate when RL just kind of goes right for it. Mm-hmm. When the body does come to life or whatever, what's his face? Freddy says, Count Nightwing says, "What room is this?" And Freddy says, "It's my house," I replied, but the words tumbled out in a weak whisper. Well, that was nice. Tumbled out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just like single word choices that would benefit, a third grade reader. And there's other examples of this, like caked dry lips on page 41. Page 46. This is, as we know, RL will both show and tell, or just tell more often than not. And here, when and this is a 101 thing. Like when you're in college, or when you do any kind of creative writing, you learn, like, don't date this shit. And RL does date it with a lot of, like, you know, he was playing his Game Boy on the couch. But in this case, Count Nightwing asked for the year directly. He says, "What year is it?" And the line is just, "I told him."
Perfect.
Simple. Great. Yes, exactly. Timeless. Calling him the old vampire, I just liked. Even after he's named, like, this fucking old vampire. I thought that was good.
Fuck you, Grandpa.
Yeah. When they're in the castle and Nightwing shows up holding a torch, that helps to create the environment, because you are in 1880. It is like a stone castle lit by candlelight in the evening. So there's this line that says, like, Count Nightwing's body was flickering in and out of the light. I thought that was nice, kind of spooky. Page 67, the room that they transport into, they compare it to a school gym. They're like, this is as long as our school gymnasium. That's a smart point of reference, I think, for, again, elementary school readers, rather than saying, you know, whatever yardage it is. Another example of good word choice, a grandfather clock was guarding the room at one point in one of the rooms in the castle. That was nice.
I wrote that too. That's a good one.
And on page 101, always love a good no bones description. So it says, "I leaped at him, caught him by surprise. I shoved my shoulder into his chest. He felt light and feathery, as if he had no bones at all." Love it.
It's good.
That's it. That's it for my good. But I mean, a solid, as you said, a solid book. How about you?
I had some good bone talk.
Yeah, man.
We were boning in this. So, like, for example, when all those old vampires started, like, moving their arms and pumping them and stuff like that, said living skeletons, I thought. Their ancient bones snapped as they moved. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I said the opening is very erotic, but written well. One of the things that I thought was just kind of goofy and good for a kid's book, they're talking about how they're like the toughest kids in school, Kara and Freddie. And they say, "Want to know how tough we are? We like it when our teacher squeaks the chalk against the chalkboard."
Yeah.
Like such a braggadocious young kid bullshit thing. Like,
yeah.
We made our way silently over the thick carpet. The gas lamps cast a gloomy, dim light. Our shadows seemed to hide behind us as we walked. I love that when Nightwing is bringing them through the castle. And then one thing, too, is that, like, Nightwing is not this, like... he's threatening and creepy, but frail, which is what I really like the description of him. He's ancient. So this is probably, like, one of my favorite things he's written in a little while. I just love the image it puts in your head. He floated higher. The cape billowed around him. He looked like a frail insect inside a purple cocoon. I could feel his power.
I love that.
Like,
yeah, that's
damn.
nice.
That's some good horror writing.
Yeah.
Like, even though you see him and it looks like the cape is billowing around him and he's just this tiny husk in the middle, but, like, you know, like, oh, we're fucked. Like,
yeah.
The contrast of that is awesome. So
purple cocoon is lovely.
Oh, I know, right? And I love the word frail, too, for a kid's book. Mm-hmm. It's good. But what bad do you have?
Yeah, just a few things. So, to your point, the kids like to establish that they don't scare easily. Page 37, we've already established this. The whole first chapter is about them not being scared easily. And they just keep saying it. Page 37, what's the example here? They said, "We have never been the least bit scared," but that was movies. This was real life. Like, we just fucking get it. And right before that it says, "I don't scare easily." So it's just enough. Oh yeah. On page 47, they're talking about Count Nightwing, and Count Nightwing says, "Where is it? You must find it." The vampire breath. "You have no idea how thirsty I am. It's been at least 100 years. He's a good sleeper," I thought. this was a line. I read this last night, and I couldn't help it. It just happened. I rolled my eyes, and so I just made a note of that. Same thing, kind of, with the vampire breath freshening his breath as like a little thing tacked on. I thought that was dumb. And the last thing is, in this original print, there's a legit typo in it. Which is just not even, I mean, yeah, I guess it is a typo technically, but there's 2 spaces where there should be one. It says Count Nightwing, and there's just like a huge space between them. So it's just like a print error.
What page?
78. For me, it's 78. It's it's this talk of like turning them into a vampire. Don't try to escape again. It's a waste of time. And the next time I won't catch you. So this is right after they jumped out the little window. And I'm going to try to hold it up. Do you see? Let's see. Let me try to point to it. Yeah, right here. Count. See the Count Nightwing? And there's like a huge space. Yeah, same. Dave is holding it up. Big space there. Yeah,
same. They kept it.
That's wild.
Command C. Command V. Book done.
Hey, you can't.
I have the reprint.
Right. That's interesting that it translated over. By the way, there's going to be no Command C in 2020, Dave. Save that for 2021.
I'm more into Command V, if you know what I'm talking
about. So how about you? What's your bad?
When they're fighting, I loved the fight, but this I reached out to help pull her off the front of the cabinet. Again, we're saying no pulling off in 2020.
Right.
But she let out a roar of attack and came hurtling into me.
Roar of attack.
Roar of attack. Also, later in that same thing, they call a hiss of attack.
Boy.
With that was when Nightwing was kicking the shit out of that little girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, he describes the tunnel as cold and damp so many times.
Yeah. Yep.
This is a small excerpt I'm going to read.
Okay.
I reached out and touched the wall. Stone. Cold stone. Cold
Kramer.
and damp.
Mm-hmm.
We need flashlights, Kara said softly. I rubbed the cold, damp stone again. That's literally...
It's like you have no other words.
And then later, that's just that part, but throughout the whole thing, it's just like the tunnel was damp. I felt the stone, which was cold.
It was cold. Yeah.
My cold, damp stone. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it, though. Other than that, it was good. You got a scare?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the vampire girl... now that I established it, I want to call her Constance. Gwendolyn. She had a spooky description. I mean, just a little vampire girl is creepy. I don't even really need to read it. But yeah, she's pretty spooky. Oh, I'm sorry, page 88, if you want to reference that shit. How about you?
Finding a coffin in your home.
Sure. Unnerving, one might say.
And your friend being like, let's open it.
Yeah.
Finding a coffin in your... And also, even when they destroyed that cabinet... I was even like, fuck, man. That's because you like the feeling as a kid when you break something and your parents are coming home.
Yeah, absolutely. And the china cabinet is the holy grail. That's what you don't.
I felt it.
Yeah.
I felt the fear of like, uh-oh, mom and dad's coming home. And not only that, but also the fear of like, and there's a dead body.
Yeah.
But even in my head, I was just like, well, maybe we can get away with the broken dishes if we show them this dead body.
Right.
Yeah.
Now this thing supersedes it, right? It's like like the fact that they have to tell him he's a vampire. It's like, sure, you broke all our shit, but also like you're adopted, so we'll call it even.
Like time traveling and seeing vampires is scary, but like the rest of it is scary. It's all scary, but the real scare is like, I'm in trouble and there's a dead body.
Yeah. I'd be more scared to get yelled at than to find the body.
Best dressed. There's only one answer, man. Or maybe not. Every time I say that, you have a different one.
Well, I mean, I just did halfway through the book all the old vampires. I just thought it was a description. The description was good there to describe, and I'll bring it up here because it is pretty cool. Are you going to say Nightwing?
Oh yeah,
yeah, and it's similar to Nightwing. Are all these old vampires? So it says, This is when they transport over. I heard low moans and groans as the vampires sat up. Bony hands gripped the sides of the coffins, dry throats being cleared, the coughing. Their faces were yellow in the moonlight. Their eyes gleamed dully, a pale silver. They looked so old, older than the oldest people you see on the street. Actually, that I didn't like. Their skin appeared so thin and was wrapped so tight you could see the bones underneath. Living skeletons, I thought. Their ancient bones snapped as they moved. And their voices are raspy. They're dressed all in black, white shirt collars stiff and high over their chins. Some of them wore long, shiny capes, bent, skinny shoulders, long fingers, bony white fingers. So, yeah, pretty cool. And I think Nightwing's the same, right? Except he's like bald.
He's bald, and I love this. The man was old and completely bald. His skin stretched tight against his skull, smooth as a light bulb.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I love that he had a light bulb head. And then this, like, dude, the fashion on this man.
Oh, the cape.
His eyes were shut. His lips were pale as his skin, drawn tightly together. He had tiny white hands. So cute. Thin as bones.
Yeah.
They were crossed over his chest. He was dressed in a black tuxedo, fancy, very old-fashioned looking. The stiff collar of his white shirt pressed up against his pale cheeks. His shiny black shoes were buttoned inside and laced.
Love it.
It's great.
Beautiful.
You have a alternate title?
No, do you?
Grandpa Farts.
Well, I can't beat that.
It would give away the ending, though.
That's true. Dracula basement.
Oh, I love it.
Perfect.
Right to the point.
Yep. That's me, baby.
Draculas aren't in my basement.
Yeah, basement is for air hockey, not Dracula.
And then the Carl Germ. Where's the witch?
Where's the witch? Well, it's got to be the bottle of vampire breath.
I'm going to say it's Mom.
Ooh, it's Mom.
It's Cynthia.
She's the lineage.
Well, not only that, but she has that bathroom where she keeps all the werewolf sweat and stuff like that. Her eye of newt.
Her donkey poo.
Yeah. So I figured she's got, potions. So it's very witch-like to me.
Lotions, baby. Who's the licker? I'm going to say it's fucking Nightwing because he's licking his little lips all the time.
He's so thirsty.
He's thirsty. Lim, 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 lim.
And he just has to gob on everything because he doesn't got no teeth.
He got no teeths. All right, well, we did it.
That's it.
As I say at the end of every episode. All right, well.
It's the last episode of 2020. Next episode.
Yes.
And it's just a little book. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah. Heard of it? Look it up, dweeb. We're not even going to tell you.
Yeah.
Unless you want to say it.
You want a hint?
Yes, I want a hint.
If as an acronym, it would be CAC.
So if you're from Boston,
look at my kick.
Put it together. Hey, Derek Jeter, suck my cack.
Which was something they would say.
They would say that.
I went to see a Yankees game at Fenway Park as a child, and I got an empty salad dish thrown at me.
Mm-hmm. They hate little Yankee
Goosebumps
children.
age.
Yeah.
We were also denied from eating in a restaurant. We went to a restaurant outside, and they said, you can't eat here.
Because of the Yankees paraphernalia?
Yeah, because we were there to see the Yankees, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have family. It's not like we just went to Boston as Yankee fans to be like, we need to go to enemy territory. But it was like, we have a lot of family there, and they're all from this area, and they're all Yankees fans. So we all went to go see the Yankees together in a big game during that crazy rivalry. And this is when there was still the curse. So,
Right. Yeah, a lot of Red Sox bigots.
Yeah, and also there was another time where my dad, we were at Cape Cod, and he was getting the newspaper with my cousin, who at this time was like 4 or 5. And my dad was just wearing, it's funny because my dad was wearing a Staten Island Yankees hat. Not even like regular Yankee. And it's like an older logo, and it's on it. So the guy literally, he was just like, is that a Yankees hat? Fuck you. Like, oh, you motherfucker. And he's like cursing and yelling. This like old guy at my dad, who's literally just walking to get the paper. down the street and he's just like, this is a child. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's vacation. It's a child.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Crazy.
Boston, get it together. Figure it out.
Sports, man.
Yeah, it's really sports.
It's sports.
Yeah. Well,
some towns are bad. Sports towns where you get attacked.
Right. Yeah, I mean, right. Uh-oh. The sports
police. Oh, no, it's the horny police.
Yeah.
They're coming to arrest us.
They're coming to put a tiny handcuff on my little Jeter.
And with that, maybe I'll go play. If I play Space Time, Punk, Cyberpunk, I'll send you a picture of my tiny dick.
Please do. Yeah.
I have 1 million tattoos and a tiny dick. I hope you'll enjoy it, my tiny dick.
That's what my tombstone will say. I gotta get some tattoos.
And with that, we'll see you next time for the titular episode.
Ooh la la. Now the horny police are definitely gonna get me. All right.
Bye.
Bye.